Welcome to the fireplace.
I'm Tony.
I'm Peggy.
And we're two RV industry veterans who travel part-time.
In this small trailer.
Absolutely. Looking to share big adventures and help you with great tips.
Tricks.
And discounts.
That's right. We're still on the road.
Yeah, we are in Shipshewana,
We are
Indiana.
now in Shipshewana. That's right. We love here. We love here.
There's just so much about this area that we like, including this. If you're watching on video, again, we have committed to doing these podcasts now on video. If you're watching on video, the window behind us is open. Normally we wouldn't. The lighting isn't perfect.
It's kind of weird.
But
Amish, if you look,
Amish buggies keep rolling by. So if you hear, look out the window.
It is.
It's Amish buggies rolling by. So it's I don't know. In fact, Peggy picked this campsite, this specific campsite, just because of the Amish buggies.
What I didn't realize is where the hookups were.
Yeah,
they're all on the wrong side.
They're all on the campsite.
So we're parked in a little bit weird so that we could fit them all, reach them all the way across to the other side. Whatever it is. We're there.
It reaches. Fortunately, we have enough of those air gear
That's
water
right.
hoses.
The air gear water hose reach fine.
I haven't hooked the sewer in yet. We're going to be here
for
the
sewer's
a week.
On the right side.
Right, I know,
goodness.
but it's also because we parked so close to the hookups. We're parked further from the sewer. So we'll find out, right?
We'll have to go knock on doors. Can I borrow some of your sewer hose for a little while? I've actually seen posts about that. Like, people are like, "Ooh, would you share your sewer hose?" I'm like, "It's sewer hose. It's not like I'm going to drink out of it."
Jeez Louise, people. And we have, I don't know, 2 or 3 more sewer hoses at home.
At home, which is a big help.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things, we have had some interesting adventures getting here. This is one of the destinations that is part of this trip. The reason being, we have a project we're working on with Forest River and another company here, and we'll be working on that all week long, which is why we're recording this on Sunday, because the whole week is going to be full of being at Forest River, which is A-okay with me.
Act like having a day job.
Oh,
weird.
My God. And so part of getting here, we've had all these different campgrounds we've stayed at, and in the Midwest, they put these trees in
trees everywhere. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. But so as a result, I've had to put the Starlink on the. We have it sort of freestanding in that it's on a Camco flagpole, and we can put that under the tongue jack of the trailer. We can put that under the tire of a trailer.
We've even put it under the tire of the truck one time when the trees were everywhere except the nose of the truck. We rolled over it with the front tire of the truck.
Yeah.
Obviously, we didn't go anywhere while we were there.
Yeah. But anyway, I wanted to share, we have a story about how we mount our Starlink and why we mount it that way, and being able to move it around is one of the reasons that I'm really glad we don't have it permanently mounted to the trailer.
Right.
Because the trees and the campsites and all of the other variables lets us put it where it works best, and that has really worked out well. So we have been able to.
So you do like having choices.
I do like
in
having
so many
choices.
parts of his life, he's like, no, there should be no choice. Just make it the one thing, and that's what we get.
Black T-shirt every day.
Every day.
So, but that's because of campgrounds having trees. So.
Yep.
Anyway, well, this week, we always talk about our friends at ABC Upfitters. And this week, we're not going to talk about them. We're going to share what Sandy Ward said, because she had a system put in by them at our recommendation, and she might be pleased with it.
I think so. She makes sure that every time anyone talks about solar in any of the groups we're in together, she tells them about it. Well, so obviously she wants people to know.
Yeah, share the post, and you'll see it also on StressLess Campers Facebook group if you're there. But her post, and we'll share the video. It's pretty impressive.
Yes. Okay, so Sandy added 1,200 watts of solar, a 60 amp solar controller, 3,500 watt inverter with a 200 amp charger, 920 amp hour lithium battery bank. Whoo-wee. With underglow lights, thanks to Mike. He is the best. I agree.
He is the best.
He snuck some lights into our trailer pass through when we took it. When we had it just there to charge overnight, we came in and there were lights.
Well, here's the impressive part, right? Mm-hmm. She gained additional. She put all this stuff in the pass through
of her fifth wheel, right?
Right, and gained additional storage since the old batteries got taken out. So she's able to run everything basically, even when it's overcast outside, including the heater, the air conditioner,
the microwave,
air conditioner, the microwave,
the outlets, and her coffee pot. She apparently has not become an AeroPress junkie like us.
Yeah, but that's okay. I mean, she can.
She doesn't need to.
Yeah. So anyway, that's from Sandy, and you can see her comment and ask. You know, we talk about this every week, and I have said how pleased we are with this system. I mean, there was one time during this trip, we pulled into a campground. There was no power there.
Yeah.
I mean, something went wrong.
Had gone wrong.
And we're like, so what?
Who cares?
Yeah, we don't care. We're just here.
We're fine.
Overnight.
We're here at night. We'll make it.
In fact, that's the one where if you look at the pictures that I posted of our Starlink, that's the one where we had to run over the Starlink with the back wheel of the trailer.
Oh, right. And you said that's the highest you've ever put the Starlink.
Yeah. I fully extended the flagpole.
Yeah.
So there you go. So,
well, anyway, happy camping, Sandy and everyone. And if you're still not convinced by us and by Sandy, then...
well, come in and ask questions. And one of the things I had someone ask... where do I find support? Well, one of the things ABC Outfitters does have a Facebook page for owners of these systems or those curious, and they're in there all the time answering questions. They've made videos.
Yep.
It's just, they're a good company to work with.
And if you like to actually speak to someone on the phone, you can call them at 574-333-3225. That's 574-333-3225.
Absolutely.
And they will talk you through a system that is made just for you.
Yeah, that's the thing. They listen to how you camp. Apparently, Sandy camps far, far away from power. Well, no, she doesn't camp far, far away from power.
She just carries her power with her.
Well, speaking of power, we are very pleased that Doug Curtis and Mike Sokol reached out to us. And Doug Curtis is the guy who came up with RV Soft Start.
Right.
Or his company did.
And if you're not familiar, RV Soft Start is a little contraption you can climb up on the roof and add to your air conditioner so that you don't get that surge of power at the very beginning, and it makes it kinder to your electrical system.
Well, but also if you want to run one air conditioner on, let's say, a smaller generator, Soft Start enables that. We have Soft Start in our trailer so that we can run our one air conditioner on our battery. It really has been a significant improvement. Well, Doug reached out to us and said, I've got something even better.
Wait till you see what we have now.
See what we have now. And I also have to warn you that as we say, we're doing more video. I'm finding more and more goofy gadgets in the video editing. I use a program called CapCut, and I found more stuff in this CapCut. So if you're watching this and you're like, what? Know that I found new toys, and it's like, when you discover a new toy, you play with it way too much.
If there's entirely too much movement and you end up with a seizure, please let us know. We'll make him back up a little.
Anyway, without any further ado, here's Doug and Mike Sokol from RV SoftStartUP. Well, we are very excited because we are going to help debut a completely new product, and we have with us the inventor of that product, Doug Curtis, and we have the man who you are no stranger to if you're a listener to the StressLess Camping podcast. My good friend Mike Sokol, the RV electricity expert, and there's a reason that Mike is here. He tested the new product. But Doug, welcome, and how about a rundown of who you are and what you've invented?
Okay. Well, thank you for having me here today, and it's great to be here. I'm not the inventor, but I invented the idea that it could be developed in the sense that a good friend of mine said, "Hey, Doug, you've got the SoftStart RV product, but a lot of people don't want to get on their roof. So can you design something? Can you engineer something that would make it easy for somebody just to plug it into a power pole or a small generator?" And I said, yes. Well, that was 5 years ago. So I went through one engineer during COVID, and we ran out of parts because of the COVID shortage on everything. And we realized that you and everybody else tries to, when they're camping, they want to run their hair dryer, their air conditioner, their refrigerator, their hot water heater, their dishwasher, everything. And we needed to have a product that would be robust enough to handle 50 amps. Or if they were out of 30 amp, only 30 amp. So many months later, and way too much money, and I now know 6 or 7 engineers that I didn't know. And so it's not really me. It's really a team thing. I just took the idea from my friend who's an advisor to us to say, let's make something easy. Here we are, 5 years later. And probably the most important part of that was actually having a whole team of engineers that could not only design it, but also test it. And that's why Mike has become so great with us, because he was able to test it to solve the 5 biggest problems that we found out most RVers are having when they're trying to stay cool in a campground situation or even an off-grid situation.
So I'm going to then defer to Mike. Mike, what the heck are we talking about here?
Okay, so here's what happens. Anytime you spin up a motor, like the compressor on your air conditioner, when it comes on and you hear that clunk, it draws way lots more amperage than when it's running. 2, 3, 4 times as much. So sometimes you might have an air conditioner that normally runs, let's say 14 or 15 amperes of current when it's running. It can draw 60 or 80 amperes for a very, very short period of time. And that's what makes these inverter generators trip. It's a big problem. And not only that, circuit breakers could trip and everything. So basically what SoftStartUp does is it looks for that big inrush thing. And then what it does is it just adjusts the voltage. It limits the current down to maybe half of that or even less, just depending on what you've got, so that it doesn't overload and trip your generators. So it's basically a thing that plugs in there that looks for really quick inrush, high current events, which air conditioners are normally that. So that's basically what it does. It just smooths out that. So instead of like popping the clutch on your car, jamming your car into gear, it's just like having a hydromatic transmission that just gives a little push. And the other thing that it does, this will do multiple air conditioners. So this one unit plugged in will do 2 air conditioners on the roof. If you're on a 50 amp supply, now I've not tested with 3 air conditioners, I don't have it, but it should do 3 air conditioners on the roof, all from the same unit. I'm also doing tests. I don't know if you do anything with laser printers in your RV, but I have a number of my readers that have their own offices in there. Laser printers have that big honk when they start up and all the lights dim. I'm pretty sure that this would allow you to start a laser printer on a smaller generator as well, if you're having an RV office away from home.
So this device is not specific to air conditioners. It's specific to high sudden
inrush.
pull.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly right. Exactly. It's looking for that peak, that really slap. When you see the lights dim in your building, when something comes on, that's what it's looking for. That's what it corrects.
Just to follow up a couple of things. before we get lost in the details.
Sure.
It does work. It does work, like you say, to reduce the inrush current for anything that has a compressor, as Mike was referring to. So it could be a refrigerator.
Yes.
Okay? It could be a freezer. It could be an air conditioner. And what we've realized is it also works. You mentioned you could plug it, you could use it with a small generator, but you can also use it on a power pole, or you could, if you're mooch docking, you could actually plug it into a regular home outlet and run not full capacity, but you could start your air conditioner where you wouldn't normally be able to.
Right.
That's why when you mentioned before, the traditional soft starts are installed onto the air conditioning compressor itself. So how to be able to eliminate that? Well, that's what this product does. It enables you to be able to not only not have to get on the roof, but you can be in you can be off grid, you can be at a campground, or you could be in your kid's driveway and still have the capability to, run multiple appliances.
Well,
Anyway,
and
I wanted
here's
to jump that in there before we got too far into the discussion.
well,
Great.
and here's one of the things, one aspect of this that I like is that there's no installation other than plug it in. But the other thing is, let's say you have a travel trailer, or you also have some other kind of trailer.
Class B van.
Yeah, Class B. Instead of having to climb up on the roof of each of those rigs and install the soft start, you just bring this with you and it works with either of those units. Or let's say you go camping with some friends and they have a travel trailer and you're the guy bringing the little generator, just bring this with you. So you have really opened up the usability of your product by making this just a device you carry with you.
Right.
Oh, Mike.
Teacher, can I say something?
Absolutely.
If you have a 50 amp source, or let's say you have a 7,000 watt generator with a split 122/40 split phase, you can use this to split off and create 230 amp services for two different RVs, but each side is independent.
Interesting. Or if you have like a Ford F-150, what is it, Lightning?
The power boost.
Power boost, right?
Yes, with the 7.2 kilowatt generator.
Yeah, you could
Inverter.
power 2 Airstreams.
You can, yeah, you can. You can put that on. You put a splitter on there. You can power 2 Airstreams with it. Yep.
Wow.
So, I mean, this really, I think Soft Start is almost like the Kleenex of RV, air conditioner, in that I think it's a well enough known product that I see a lot of times on social media, people say, how do I install a soft start? Or,
Right.
Will a soft start allow me to do this? And this just really lowers the barrier to accomplishing that. I mean, you've really opened up the door to, if like I could probably get up on the roof and I could install the soft start.
You
and
can't
I can't
say that.
say it, but I could probably install it because it's not been difficult. But nothing's easier than just plug it in.
Right.
Nothing's easier than plugging it in. That's true. And that's the one thing that I worry about is people crawling up on the roof that should not be up on a roof.
Right.
Anybody can plug it in. You basically just plug it into the pedestal. Yeah. I know. But, back when I was a youngster, I could scramble around, I did big concert systems and scramble up and down speaker stacks and all that other stuff. But as I've gotten older and I have what we call normal tension glaucoma, I get vertigo if I look down and I can't fix it. So when I look down from a ladder, it's like everything starts spinning and that's not what you want. So I can get up on a roof of an RV. I just don't like going up on the roof of an RV because I have to touch something so I don't fall off.
And some roofs don't like being gotten on.
No.
Well, that too. And plus, if I fall off the roof, I'm going to crack the concrete on probably the second or third bounce.
There would be two bills: a bill for the concrete and a bill for you, right?
That's right. Well, and plus, I mean, those poor people within hearing vicinity listening to me saying
all those words they have to learn.
My
All those
mama
words.
told me not
Does
to
he have
say.
Tourette's syndrome? No, he's just cursing.
We've
Yeah.
Oh,
never had an earthquake in this part of the country
Yeah.
before.
Anyway, so
But yeah,
you
it's
had-
super simple. Plugs it in and it works.
I mean, it really opens up the door to this is something you should have in your storage compartment of your RV.
Yes.
I mean, because the other thing is, as you know, come hotter weather, here comes everybody and their brother plugging in at the RV park. Well, as Mike can attest to, some of these RV parks' electricity is not all that great, and so this will help with that too.
Reduces that inrush, because every time there's an inrush, what you have is a voltage sag. So it helps reduce the voltage sag that you're sending out to everything else.
One of the things that you mentioned, I wanted to not let it slip by again, is that because it's, I mean, I've been in the RV industry for over 20 years, and I've been camping I have a picture when I had long hair. So that was back in the 70s. But the thing that I wanted to bring out is that I can really see it as a disruptor, okay? Because it's disrupting the way people have done things, okay? And as we look at technology, when you're the first to market, a lot of things are disruptive, and people say, oh, it can't do that, and it doesn't have a capacitor, and doesn't do this, and there's a lot of language that people don't really care about. What they want to do is they want to be cool. Or, I know right now we're going into the summer, and of course it's 110 in Arizona, but Mike, I think you might be helpful to share one of the stories, because people also need power when it's not hot, when it's cold. And so how could you maybe start that heater? Can you tell that story, Mike?
Yeah. Well, you see, you also have, heat pumps are also another thing that takes a lot of inrush. And, I've gone ahead and done some tests on heat pumps as well as air conditioners. And I think this is an important aspect, especially if you're in any kind of a situation where you need power for your house. This is another thing that this can help with. But yeah, I've done a number of experiments with this, just running space heaters and also running other appliances at the same time. So anything with an inrush, anything that has like a extra kick when it starts, this will help with. Anything that is a resistive heating, this thing ignores and just passes it through. So it can differentiate between those two things pretty successfully.
Well, and let's not gloss over the fact that there are more and more circumstances where we have, I'm not going to say power grid failure, but I don't know a better term. Stuff happens and your lights go out at your house. And if you're running some devices, well, the refrigerator, for example, you could run the refrigerator off maybe a portable power station. Or if you have medical devices like an oxygen generator or that sort of thing. The nice thing about this is, rather than being hardwired into your RV where it's not going to do you any good when the lights go out, you just bring it in the house or wherever you have the power coming from, a generator, a portable, not a solar generator, a portable
you
power
hate that
station.
word, portable power station
Yeah.
is what I try to say.
Yes.
So this will serve that purpose too. So now instead of having something on the roof of your RV and it's winter, but the power goes out, that's doing you no good. Now you have you just go to the RV, grab it, bring it in the house, and you've just saved your bacon because that's where you keep it, in the refrigerator.
Right. And the other thing that this will work with, I've not done full experiments, but yet sump pumps. So if you've got sump pumps, and let's say you have a submersible pump in your, for your well water, and you have a power outage, your generator or whatever's got to be able to run that at the same time. Your refrigerator, any of these other things that you've got going on. And that's one of my little side projects, is putting together various things that people can do in advance. You see, what was it last week? 100 million people in the United States were under severe weather watch. Yeah. I mean, this is just like unfathomable numbers here. You have this for your RV. You could take it if you already set up with your house to be able to accept outside generator. You can plug this into your house inlet. Plug from your generator.
Even if not, let's say you're at home, you have your little generator. You could then just plug the refrigerator into it. You said, a well pump or sump pump or that sort of thing. So now you've solved another problem. With this same device, you have to only buy one.
Right.
Buy one, move it around. If you sell your RV, take it with you to your new RV. Loan it, rent it out to your friends.
Rent it out.
Yeah, buy two, and then when the lights go out in your neighborhood, you hold it up and say, "Hey, I'll rent you this thing for $100 for the next few days."
I like that. Yeah.
Well,
go ahead, Doug. I'm sorry.
I know we've kind of branched out into what Mike and I are really excited about, which has to do with what we call it disaster relief. I'm not saying that we have the disaster relief end all be all.
Sure.
I mean, it doesn't make power. That's the one thing that we want to be able to share with people is, if you're on 50 amp and you plug in your air conditioner and your other air conditioner, you're still only going to get so many amps. Even though it reduces the spike, you're still only going to get 50 amps. It's not going to make more amps. So if you are there, Tony, and you're saying, oh, well, I'm running my air conditioner and Peggy wants to run her hair dryer, or she's in the shower with the hot water heater, and you turn on the microwave, you got the coffee pot going. I mean, it's not going to make more power than you already have.
Right.
And so we have to do a good job, I think, as we go over the next 100 days or so, is to try to explain to people, hey, we don't make power, but we can give you the power and maximize the results. So whether it's medical devices like CPAP machines or oxygen or refrigerators or water heaters or even your air conditioners. Of course, we started out to make people cool, and now we realize, gee, there's a lot of other scope to this, and we're really learning a lot more about the capabilities. We've got Mike so busy that he hasn't been able to go test the laser printer, and
I got a lot of stuff to test, but
what about power tools, right? You know that a lot of YouTubers are full timers, right? So can you plug in? Can you have your air conditioner and your refrigerator going? Maybe you have to turn something off if you got to run a power saw or a power drill or a welding tool. I mean, we're just sort of we're early on here to know the full scope of everything we can do. So we're looking for feedback from your viewers on, hey, can it do this? Can it do this? We're trying to get all those answers out. We proved that it works, but we want to,
looking for applications. Under what situations it really helps on.
Yeah.
Well, Peggy's cousin builds houses, and he starts with there's nothing there, right? It's a flat piece of dirt, and now he's using a generator to run the power tools. Well, I think for someone like that, this could also, right? Because now your chop saws and all that stuff are running
those
fine.
Things, and anything that dims the lights when it starts, is fair game for this.
Yeah.
Interesting. So you had said there were 5 problems that this solved. I'd like to hear the rest of those, or maybe we've talked about those.
No, we haven't. No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
So the 5 problems were the 5 tests that I asked Mike to. I mean, we have 5 other engineers, including Mike. So, but Mike was the guy who, said, all right, hey, let me get into this. So and I think we have a lot of videos that we can share. The first thing we wanted to do was say, okay, can you run two air conditioners, two 15K air conditioners on a 30 amp power? And right now, no one can do that. But now you could run two air conditioners if you had one soft start installed on each air conditioner and you plugged into 30 amp. You could do it. But could you do it with our new product, the SoftStartUP, without having anything installed on those air conditioners? So yes, it could do that. So Mike proved and tested that. I said, well, that's not enough. Can you show me what it could do with a generator? And, you know, a lot of people, you mentioned Class Bs before. Class Bs, they have limited space. And so if they could reduce the weight of the generator that they're taking and still get their functionality that they need, I said, Mike, let's test it to make sure that somebody could use like a Honda 3000 generator. Mike can tell you all the details. I'm just going to, that's the second thing. So he proved he could start two ACs with a 3,000 watt generator. I said, Mike, I know we don't have this completely refined, but let's just test, could it work with an inverter? So we put in a 3,000 watt inverter, and he started two air conditioners on a 3,000 watt inverter. There's a little caveat to that, because that would have to be downstream, so to speak. Let me skip over that and go to the...
You wanted smaller generators with a single air conditioner.
Right. One air conditioner and a smaller generator. That's what everybody wants. I mean, if you're basically over 50 and you've got a small rig, or you've got a Class B or a Class C, you just want to be able to plug in one AC on a small generator. Can you prove that? A good small generator is a Honda 2200. I use the word Honda just because a lot of generator companies say one thing, but it's not actually true. But Honda is. So he proved it with a Honda generator. You can start one AC with a 2200 watt generator, and just for kicks, we know that there are some people that have 2,000 watt inverters, like what's it called, the Jackery? I said, Mike, can you make it work on a Jackery? So those are the 5 solutions that we wanted Mike to test, and he did, and he proved it. And of course, we can share those videos with you. And take it away, Mike. Did I answer your question first, Tony?
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
Mike's going into a lot of detail.
Yeah, plus I got to test it to death. So there's a different thing that happens where I try to test to blow things up. It's really hard to blow them up, but that's part of my job, is to, take it, to find out where the edge is, abusing it beyond what it's supposed to be able to do.
Well, and that's, I know Mike has a number of generators and all kinds of crazy stuff that we've talked about, and I can just see Mike sitting there going, "Whoa!" I'm gonna.
I want to get one of those Jacob's ladders in the background.
Yeah,
I really need one. It's going to be more effective than my lava lamp back here.
I think so. So I think maybe the important question is, where can I get one of these, and when will they be available, and how much will they be?
Okay. Well, right now, we designed this in the U.S., okay, and we're manufacturing in the U.S. And so everything is designed and manufactured in the U.S. We have inventory. We had a lot of people waiting for this product, and so we thought we were going to have the product, and there's a lot of component issues still happening even though COVID's going on. So we have inventory. The product is available at our website, SoftStartUp.com. The price, the manufacturer suggested retail price is $12.95. I know it sounds like a big price. We have reduced it to launch it out here to $7.95. So we've got a $500 special that's going on right through the summer. I mean, because we know this is the maximum time when people need to have this kind of product.
Right.
We have a number of people that we're talking to be able to see how we can perhaps fast track this to be able to get the word out to more people, and you're helping us to do that. So have I covered all those 3 questions?
I think so, and you don't have to bribe your nephew to go up on the roof of your trailer.
No.
So there's, that's good. Or have a technician, or that one Uncle Fred who says he can do it.
Right.
And now you're buying a new air conditioner for $1,800.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Well, I will tell you that initially when the first Soft Start RV products came out, you had to do some cut and splice and nip and tug on the wiring. And then Doug had one of his guys do a little voodoo magic, and they figured out how to do this splicelessly without cutting any wires. And then I did a lot of the installation videos to make it simpler. So we've been working to simplifying this for end users so that they don't destroy their air conditioner, because a lot of people, once you start cutting wires, this is so this is even easier. So this is like the third generation idea, basically plug and play. Sorry, Microsoft, and away you go. So, like I said, I've got hundreds and hundreds of hours of testing in on this. So this is my fun project.
Excellent.
And I think this is going to serve. You're going to find a lot more uses than just somebody wanting to run their air conditioner, although somebody can run their air conditioner on a single, as you said, Honda 2200 or whatever it happens to be.
Yeah.
And I mean, that alone is something that will really be a good reason to get one of these, especially as summer and the heat of summer show up. And they said that in many places this is going to be a record-setting summer for heat. So
I already had my first calls. I had my first call from Texas yesterday, trying to figure out how to get a generator running the stuff in their house because the power had been out for the last 3 days
from
the tornado.
Well,
That's when I start getting all the calls.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I know we're talking about all the heat that's coming up, but I'm really excited because when you're telling the story of Mike getting a call, we got calls last year before we had this product where people were saying, gee, if I could just keep warm in my house because there's a flood, there's a fire, there's a tornado, there's a hurricane, there's a mudslide. These things are happening more and more. I mean, the grid is a 100-year-old grid. So, I mean, in my hope of a dream of where we could be someday is that we could actually have this product so that people could stay cool, they could have medical devices working, they could have refrigeration for food, and there could be an application for the off-grid market, not just RVers.
For tiny houses.
For tiny houses. It could be somebody that just says, you know what? I want to be prepared if it goes off-grid. I had a woman who said, Doug, could your product help me if I had a generator? I'm afraid that I'm going to go without power and have a baby, and I need power to have a baby. I mean, she was looking ahead. She was pregnant.
Are they going to name the baby after you, Doug?
No.
Oh, okay, I'm just checking.
I mean, I've launched over 200 products in the last 20 years. I mean, I've worked with a lot of great engineers. I've never had a product where I felt that I would actually be able to make a really impact on communities and people's lives. So I know it sounds a little emotional because I'm starting to believe that I could actually do this. So
that's awesome.
And I think it used to be the people who were, had an eye on disaster preparedness might have been living remotely or may have been non-mainstream. And I think that that's changing. I think now, Mr. and Mrs. Average American are going, things are changing and the infrastructure is not as robust. And I mean, let's be honest, no matter how good your grid is, if a tornado comes rolling through, the lights are going out.
Yeah.
Right.
You remind me of my wife echoing those exact words. I mean, we live in Fort Lauderdale. I mean, June 1st, hurricane is announcing and coming, right? I mean, we know that. So she said, would you just get this product onto a new generator so that we can have, emergency refrigeration? We don't have any medical problems, but I mean, she wants to be prepared. Yeah. She's not a prepper by any means, but she just wants to be prepared. She wants to be ready. She doesn't. We've been through the hurricanes, 11 days without power. I'm starting the barbecue. Your freezer is emptied with all the food. That's you got to cook it for all your neighbors, otherwise it's going to go bad. I mean,
yep.
Right.
Yeah, and now you can run a generator or even a portable power station, aka solar generator.
Right.
I know that maybe save your freezer full of meat or whatever it happens to be.
Yeah.
Right. And another thing, you want to be able to, during these times when the power's out, the first thing that happens is you run out of cell phone charge. And that means you lose communication. So you don't know where the next weather pattern coming in is happening. You can't even call relatives and tell them you're safe or tell them you need insulin or any of these other things that you may have because, you don't have power and your GPS. I mean, all this stuff is in your phone. If once that thing goes down, man, you feel like you are cut off from the rest of the world because, in fact, you are cut off.
You are
from the rest.
Yeah.
You're cut off from the rest of the world. 20 years ago, this was not a thing. Guess what? Now we all depend on that, and it's not just a fun thing. It's a health thing. It's medical thing. It's how you can provide help for your relatives and friends and community. I think.
Yeah. I think you're right. You have created a product, or since it's a team of engineers, y'all have created a product that I think will really help people. And you might get this for your RV and then discover 20 other uses down the road.
Sure.
And every time you use it, you're going to be thinking, gosh, I'm really glad that I have this.
I don't have to climb on the roof and take it off the air conditioner to use it.
Yeah, and that's the problem. That won't work on any home appliances.
Right.
Something like this will,
Right.
But I think it's a fascinating project. I'm really glad they trusted me to try to break their product. and I actually worked on the feature sets and how it would operate and all the bits and pieces of it. So.
Well, I can't imagine anybody more skilled at blowing up stuff than you, my friend.
That's my thing, man. I am proud of it.
Well, Doug, thank you so much for this incredible product. And, of course, Mike, it's always good to spend time with you, my friend. And
Very good, Tony, Peggy. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you so
much.
much.
It's our pleasure.
Thank you for helping us to share the genius of 6 or 7 engineers and months and struggle and frustration. We know that there's going to be some iterations and some changes as we go forward, like any new product. But we're really excited, and I'm so delighted to have been here to share what all these people have been working on. Thank you.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody. I'm Mike Sokol from RV Electricity, deep in the Funkworks lab. So I'm doing some testing today on the new SoftStartUP unit. So basically, this is a replacement for the SoftStart RV that would normally be mounted inside of the air conditioner on your RV. This just plugs in on the inline power coming in, and you can use it for a lot of different things because it not only can do one air conditioner, you can also do 2 air conditioners if you have enough power. And it also has the ability that you could say plug this into your house, your residence, if you needed to use a portable generator to say get you through an emergency power blackout. So what I'm doing today is I have my little Honda 2200 inverter generator in back, and right now it's powering a Truma 15,000 BTU Aventa air conditioner. And what I'm doing right now is just started up. Well, I just started. I'm coming from my power supply down here, from out in the backyard, going into the SoftStartUP. SoftStartUP is going through all of this variety of stuff that I've got over here, just to kind of show me how it's all doing on the screen. And of course, it's then powering powering the air conditioner. So it's actually works really well. You can see on the top line here, this is my current draw. These are the 60 hertz waveforms that you always hear about. You may not think about it. It's about like B flat on a bass guitar. This guy right here is our voltage, and over here is our current. So right now we're running approximately 14 amps. I'm going to go ahead. Okay, so that one was 26.4 amperes of inrush current. Normally, this air conditioner, which is an Aventa by Truma, 15,000 BTU unit, would take somewhere around 50 plus amperes to start. So this is right around half of that. So I think it's doing, the SoftStartUP is doing a great job of reducing inrush current to help the generator keep from tripping. Right now, there it is. You can see that that was my first startup inrush. The thing peaked out probably 25 amps, and now it's running at about 12 or so. And so this is my current on the top. This is my voltage on the bottom. This happens in the blink of an eye. I mean, this is a quarter of a second interval. It's not like the soft starting stuff doesn't take like 2 or 3 seconds. It takes 1/5 of a second to happen. I'm Mike Sokol from RV Electricity. Thanks for watching.
Okay, remember last week when we were telling you all the things that we'd done in our mini light?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden we said, oh gosh, we've been talking for way too long. Goodbye.
Yeah, that's basically how it works.
So here are the things we meant to tell you last week. So first of all, we like to tell you about a destination. So we stayed at the, I'm going to pronounce it Bevier RV Center.
It's Bevier.
It's Bevier. I think it's Bevier, but I wrote one of the articles I wrote, one of the daily journals that I wrote was about a day in Bevier. And if I don't say it Bevier, it doesn't rhyme, and then the title's kind of dumb. So anyway, we stayed at the Bevier RV Center. It is a campground, and it's also a service center, which is very, very handy.
Yeah. And also, I will have to give their service dudes a lot of, well, the whole team, a lot of pluses. Once again, our water heater connection leaked.
Yep.
They came out and fixed it for $28.
$28.
So I was very, very happy about that. And fast. It was Saturday, I think.
Yes. I think we checked in on Friday afternoon. And no, it was Thursday afternoon. So they came on Friday because they thought it might be a warranty claim.
Right.
And on Friday, they were able to find out that our warranty is actually done.
Yeah, we've had this trailer for
a while. We've had the trailer way too long. But anyway, Bevier RV Center Campground is really cool. There's a lot of like pockets of sites.
Yeah.
You know, you go up this road and there's 10 sites over here, and you go around this way and there's 10 sites over there. And if you go, so it was kind of cool. I could see like taking a group of people that all could go in like that group of sites that were cut off from all the others. There's a big old swim lake and a great big water slide into the lake.
I was so flipping
We really
tempted.
wanted to go in it.
All I could think about is all the kids yelling, "Oh no, Santa Claus is sliding down the slide here." You know, I mean, there were so many kids there, and it was Memorial Day weekend.
Right.
And so there were so many kids there. I could just see them like, what the heck is an adult doing on this slide? But I talked to another adult who had been on the slide.
Now, apparently there were like a couple of, I don't know, like joints, you know, like connector areas. And I could see the kids like bouncing themselves over those. And I thought, oh, that's where we die. That's what we're not going to be able to do. And we're going to hit those bumps way too hard.
Just lift yourself over the seat.
Just lift yourself.
Nope.
Right. Anyway, then also on Saturday night, they had a concert.
Yeah.
Which was super awesome. So where we camped, just by coincidence, we were the last site, the closest site to the beach. And so we got to watch the water slide all day. And then there was just a little creek coming out of the swim lake. and there was a bridge over it, and right on the other side was the event center, and that's where the band was. So we were able to sit inside when the bugs came out. We didn't have to worry about getting mosquito bit, and we left the door open, and we had perfectly good hearing of the band.
Free concert.
Free concert.
It was pretty awesome.
Now, it did go till 11:30.
Which I was surprised.
Which
a
was
lot of
surprising, and we're really not late night people. So that was a little bit like, okay, quit playing all these terrific songs already.
That was a good variety.
So
anyway,
it was, but it was a party family. It was a Memorial weekend, so everybody's out there wanting to party and start summer.
Yeah, well, they did,
and they did
in grand style. So, especially with that water slide.
Yeah. What we also did was visit our friends Tony and Grace, and they are volunteers at the Army Corps Visitor Center, which is in Macon. It's only about 5 miles away from where we were camped, but it's in the town of Macon. Now, we also spent a little afternoon in Macon.
Yeah,
and
it's a cute little old town.
Cute. So I don't know. We tend to do this. We find like a part of town and thinks that that's the whole town, like Kingman, and then one time you accidentally drive over a hill and you find out there's an entire city. So maybe Macon's an entire city. I don't know. What we found is like old historic town, downtown Macon. Super cute. Lots of little stores, lots of kind of window shopping stuff. We went and had a coffee at their coffee shop. We went to Ben Franklin and wandered around. Tony is like, what is Ben Franklin? And I'm like, oh, you don't want to miss this. I kept my hands in my pockets. I didn't pick anything up. I didn't buy anything because, well, I don't know if we've talked. I think we have talked about this. We have to kind of empty the trailer out so that we can get the repair done. And I don't need any more stuff.
We talked about the wall, right?
I'm pretty sure we talked
They're basically replacing an entire sidewall of our trailer that got damaged in a campground.
So anything, especially anything touching this entire wall, all the cabinets on this wall need to be out of the cabinets so they can replace the wall. So what I do not need is to buy more stuff that we have to figure out how to store or take home and bring back.
I have this on recording. I do not need more stuff.
I do not need more stuff. So anyway, and then there's the Army Corps, as you probably know, handles like lakes and rivers and dams and things like that. And so the Army Corps in Macon, there's a dam there, and it's the dam of Long Branch Lake. I didn't know if I was going to get it because I forgot to write it down. It's Long Branch Lake. And what's interesting is the Army Corps manages, of course, the dam and this side of the lake. And this side of the lake is the state park. So there is a campground, which there often is at Army Corps properties, but the campground in this case is actually run by the state park. And the Army Corps itself doesn't have a campground. But they do have a visitor center, kind of a museum, and that's where Tony and Grace volunteer. They also, take care of the lawn and, all that stuff. But
yeah, it was really neat catching up with them.
Yes, it was.
And so we had a good time, and Tony smoked us a pulled pork. That was fantastic.
So good.
And just a good time.
Yeah.
But what we didn't have is Robin's vegan green chili stew.
We didn't, but I did share the recipe for Robin's vegan green chili stew. Robin's vegan green chili stew. That's a lot of words to put together. And again, this was last week's notes, and so I don't really remember all the things that go into Robin's vegan green chili stew.
But I do know you can find the recipe
That's
at
right.
our home on the web at StressLessCamping.com.
That's right.
And if you're like me and you're like, wait a minute, chili without meat? You
It's
can
stew.
see. Oh, that's true.
There's a lot of potatoes. You'll love it.
Oh, potatoes.
Yeah, and she does use not Beyond Beef. I forget the brand, but she uses like a beef fake beef.
Yeah.
So anyway, check out the recipe for Robin's vegan green chili stew, and if you try the recipe, please let us know how delicious it is.
So something that happened while we were there
and also
with Tony and Grace, right? And also after we left is, the weather in the Midwest has been
wacko.
Yeah. And there's been some pretty serious hailstorms. There have been some windstorms and that kind of thing. And something that Tony said that we happen to be talking about X-chocks. X-chocks are a great stabilization tool if you have a tandem axle trailer, 2 axles, 3 axles, whatever, to keep it from rocking. But they are not wheel chocks.
They are not
And
wheel chocks.
the proof of that is the couple of trailers Tony said went into the forest when it got really windy because they only used X-chocks. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am here to advocate that you go out, if you have not done so already, buy some really, really good rubber truck wheel chocks.
Yeah, those good heavy, they're like hard rubber and they're kind of heavy and that they're very, very strong. Not the yellow plastic, because you can run over those and not even realize it.
Those are junk.
I see them left behind, crushed in campsites all the time.
Yeah, they really are. They're junk.
So get good wheel chocks.
They're not expensive.
They're not that expensive. Start with wheel chocks. You know, that's the first thing you should do before you even start unhooking your camper from your truck or anything. And then at the end, X-chocks are a good extra point for stabilizing. You put down your stabilizing jacks, not your leveling jacks, unless you have leveling jacks. And then if you need a little more stabilization, put the X-chocks, and they just kind of help things stay still a little bit better.
But as was proven by Tony and some campers, X-chocks aren't wheel chocks.
They do not keep your camper from rolling into the forest in a bad wind.
No. Well, lastly, we usually ask a question every week. We didn't ask one last week, which allowed you to leave more answers.
That's right, yeah.
But it was, what RV memberships do you have?
So we got a lot of common answers. Of course, Harvest Hosts and Boondockers welcome. FMCA, particularly for the Get You Home feature, that's part of being an FMCA member. And also because people use the Tech Connect a lot, the internet service. And then RV Life / TripWizard was high up on the list. A lot of people have Good Sam. People belong to KOA, and that gets you discounts when you stay at a KOA. Forest River owners should all belong to Forest River Owners Group, or FROG. Ribbit. They do all kinds of fun events all through the year, and then their rally once a year. People use Passport America, that gets half price discounts on a bunch of campgrounds throughout the country.
We have an interview with them.
We do.
And it's a legitimate thing. You know, some of these discount programs are like, yeah, right. But that has really worked well for us.
It really has. Let's see. Escapees. Thousand Trails, Elks Lodges and Moose Lodges, and I don't know, Water Buffalo. All those lodges usually have some camping available to their members. All Stays has, what I read was that All Stays has some campgrounds that TripWizard doesn't necessarily show. So if you're not getting enough of variety with TripWizard, maybe check out All Stays and combine the two when you're looking for campsites. People belong to CoachNet also,
which is for like towing, basically.
Right.
And something, as we're rolling through the Midwest, I see a lot of toll roads, and in the past we have avoided those like the plague, because if we are gone long enough, they mail you the toll, like, oh, you have $8 in tolls, and then by the time we get home it's like $20 or $30 in tolls because of being past due or whatever. This week's question that you can answer at our fun and friendly Stressless Campers Facebook group is how do you deal with tolls on the road? We have avoided toll roads because what happens is they mail us you owe a toll, and then we're
not home to get the mail, so then we're late paying that toll.
Yeah, so then it's a much more expensive toll. But I know that there are toll passes that cover multiple agencies, things like that. So the question of the week that you can answer at our fun and friendly Stressless Campers Facebook group is, how do you deal with tolls. Do you have a tool that you particularly like, and why?
And as Tony said, you can answer that question, all the questions, ask your own questions, tell your own funny stories, give us pictures of you out there camping in our fun and friendly Stressless Campers Facebook group.
Yeah, or even share awesome videos of your incredible power
package.
And of course, we do a once-a-week newsletter that's absolutely free, comes right to your inbox. And unlike the Spam Museum, we don't have spam in our newsletter, although we really enjoyed the Spam Museum. But we have links to the stories and videos and podcasts that might help you get the most out of your RV experience. And all you have to do is visit our website. At the bottom of any page is a sign-up form, and you can just sign up. And we never, of course, ever share your information or send you spam. We just eat the spam
And we just eat the
ourselves.
spam. And also on StressLessCamping.com, you can find the notes for this episode, podcast episode number 258, on the podcast page.
At StressLessCamping.com, which is also where you will find discounts and deals.
That's right.
On the best deals on the things you'll need for your stressless camping adventure.
And if you know of a great deal that you wish we were sharing with our audience, please let us know, and we will work to get that great deal on our website as well.
Yeah. And of course, we are in all the social places, but you can start at StressLessCamping.com and from there jump off to wherever you enjoy wasting time on social media.
All those social places. Of course, if you don't want to miss a future episode of the Stressless Podcast, Stressless Camping RV Podcast of the thing, it's free to subscribe on any podcast catcher, and we are saving you a seat around our virtual campfire.
Yeah, and of course, a review will help others find this podcast, and that helps us get more listeners, which means we get people like Doug who call on us to help tell stories about new and exciting gadgets and all of that.
That's right.
We really appreciate the reviews.
And if you've already reviewed and you still find great things that you think other people would like to hear and see and read and listen to,
or even if you think it's terrible, lie to them.
Or if you want to share Tony's great new video escapades, please share. Share on all the social places. Share by email. Share by telling someone in line at the grocery store. Whatever it takes, get out there. Share our name all over the place.
Yeah, be that annoying person. Well, thank you again for being here with us this week. No horses and buggies rolled by.
I know. We talked as long as we could.
I know, and not one, but oh well, that's all right, because we hope that you,
like us, are stressless camping.